Good morning from Mackinac City. We slept here last night at the Best Western, which is right on the water. And we woke up early this morning. It's about 8 o'clock right now. We are just loading the car back up and we are getting ready to take the ferry over to the island. We are aiming for the 9:30 ferry, and that one does go under the bridge. They usually have 2 times that go under the Mackinac Bridge. So that is fun if you've never done that before. But it is rainy. It's like kind of that light rain, and it's supposed to rain all day, so it's going to be cold on the ferry and on the islands, but we're still going to have a great time. So let's go and head to the ferry. We purchased our ferry tickets online, so when we got to Mackinac City, we just parked our car and then we went to check in to get our actual printed tickets for the ferry. It was raining, but Franklin was a trooper, so we hung out in the little waiting room gift shop area before getting on the ferry. To get to Mackinac Island, you have to take a ferry, and we are taking Starline Ferry today. I kind of want to sit up top because this one should go underneath the bridge, but it is a little rainy and cold, so I'll see how it goes when we get on the ferry. Arrived to Mackinac Island. We are just docking from the ferry, and then we'll probably have to grab our luggage and we're going to drop it off at where we are staying and then explore the island. But the colors look beautiful. We stayed at the Mackinac House, and we stayed here on our last trip, and we absolutely fell in love with the Mackinac House. This is definitely our favorite place to stay on the island, and we have stayed at quite a few of the inns, resorts, and this is by far our favorite. And during the morning they have a little breakfast hour, so we helped ourselves to some little breakfast snacks before we left to explore the island, kind of get away from the rain for a little bit. And they had games, so Franklin played a couple of games, and it was a really nice, relaxing way to start our day on the island.
You're 3? Good job.
Here's sample.
Okay, here you go.
What do you say?
You have another one? That's up to Mom and... Are you ready? Here you go.
Say thank you.
Say thank you.
For lunch, we headed to Patrick Dowd's Pub. This is our first time eating here. It just opened this season on the island, and we were really excited to have lunch here. And everything we had was incredible. I definitely recommend this restaurant. For lunch, I ordered the sweet potato burger, and this was really good. I really enjoyed it. I just wish I would have upgraded from the chips to the fries because I had a bite of Franklin's fries and they were really good, so I recommend upgrading your side. And he got the kids grilled cheese and looked amazing, and my mom got the Reuben, which looked really good as well.
What kind you want? You want chocolate pecan?
A little after lunch, our room was ready at the Mackinac house, so we headed back to the Mackinac house. It was just my mom and I. Franklin and my dad were at the fort having a great afternoon there. So let's go check out our room. We stayed on the first floor. We chose a room that had 2 queen beds, and there are different options of different room styles at the Mackinac house. Last time we stayed on the lower level and kind of like a family suite, which had a kitchen, and I love that, but we did not need that this trip. So this is our room, and I just love the theming at the Mackinac house and the colors. Everything is so bright, light, and fresh. The Mackinac house is located 1 block off Main Street, and I love the location. We stayed in room 11, which is a really beautiful bathroom with a walk-in shower, and then we also had 2 queen beds, which is perfect for my family because there was Franklin and I and then my parents, so that's why we looked for a room with 2 queen beds. The room also had a mini fridge, which is great to store some of your beverages if you have any food leftovers from dinner. There was also a Keurig machine ice bucket. There was this little seating area with a chair, a bench, and then a little bay window that looked out to kind of Market Street and the bicycle parking lot. There's a TV, has Wi-Fi. It's been a while since I checked in, so we got our room at the Mackinac house and I did a little tour. And then my dad and Franklin went to the fort. My mom didn't want to go to the fort, so we went to a couple of the shops. And then we got a text that our room was ready, so we came here, brought in our suitcases, freshened up a little bit, and then her and I are going to walk downtown and explore a little bit, and then we'll meet up with my dad and Franklin in a little bit. But the rain stopped for a couple hours, so we have a little break in the weather, so we are going to take advantage of that. Mom and I walked up to the Grand Hotel, and this line of red trees are breathtaking. They are so beautiful. They're at peak right now, and it was definitely worth the walk up here. I'm so happy it stopped raining. How gorgeous are these trees? During the afternoon, the Mackinac house offers a snack hour between 3 and 5. They have different snacks set out, lemonade, unsweetened black iced tea, so you can help yourself to enjoy some snacks and drinks. And this is just a great amenity that is available at the Mackinac house, and just another reason that we love staying here. We just finished having snacks at the Mackinac house, which is such a nice feature that they offer between 3 and 5 in the afternoon. They have coffee, iced tea, lemonade, and a few different snack options. So that is just a really nice added amenity at the Mackinac house. And Franklin is back with my parents because the sun came out and I wanted to walk around and take a couple of photos of the fall colors. So I'm going to do that. And then he decided he wanted to go on a horse and carriage ride. So he is joining my mom and dad to dinner tonight at their. My mom and dad are taking a taxi up to the woods, which is like a really nice fancy restaurant, and they're gonna do that. They have a reservation at 5:30, and so I'm gonna stay back and just enjoy the rest of the island because I really didn't want to go there for dinner tonight, and I'm not really that hungry, so I'm just gonna explore the island some more. So let's go and take some photos. My parents and Franklin just got their taxi at our hotel. When we got here, my mom arranged to have the taxi pick them up and take them to the woods. And I believe my mom said it's $10 a person. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'll have to confirm that. And Franklin was so excited, but he's been in a, how do I describe it? Go state and a little instigator the past couple of days. So he was kind of getting into things, but he had so much fun at the fort with my dad. So they spent a couple hours there, and then my mom and I just walked around and we saw some of the fall colors up by the Grand Hotel. And so they're heading up to the woods, and the woods is kind of like a more upscale restaurant, and it is past the Grand Hotel, and it's set in the woods, so that's why it's named the Woods. And so they're gonna have a really nice dinner. It is definitely a pricier dinner. It is expensive, and I decided to stay back, and Franklin was originally gonna stay back with me, but he really wanted to go on the carriage ride, so he's joining them. And they're like, what? When he said he wanted to go on a carriage ride with the horses, and my parents were like, what? He should just come. And my parents were like, he should just come to dinner with us. I was like, you guys don't want to have him come to your nice, fancy, romantic dinner. But they're like, no, we'll bring him. So, and I still decided to stay back. I'm really not that hungry. It's about 5 minutes to 5 right now, but I probably will go and get something, maybe like an appetizer or something a little bit later, maybe go out for a drink and explore some of the shops on Main Street. I changed and freshened up. I layered up because I'm not sure how cold it's going to get, and if I head by the water, it's probably going to be a little colder. But I am so full right now, so I don't know if I'm going to get anything for dinner right now, but it is only 5:30, so maybe if I do some shopping, do some walking in town, then I'll get a little hungry. And so we'll just kind of see, play it by ear. And there's so much to see and do on Mackinac Island that you cannot fit it in. There's so much to see and do on Mackinac Island that you really can't fit it in on one night. You just really can't. Like, I didn't want to, since the weather was kind of iffy, I didn't plan to rent a bike or bring my bike this trip, but definitely our next trip I will be doing that and taking Franklin along as well. So I'll save that for our next trip here on Mackinac Island, but I have done that many times in the past and it's so much fun. And our last trip here, Franklin and I did a hike, and we hiked over like 3 miles, and he loved it, so I thought we might be able to do that, but we just don't have enough time. And so that is just more reasons to come back, which, spoiler alert, we will be coming back next June for the Lilac Festival, which is an amazing time to come to Mackinac. There are lilac bushes and trees all throughout the island, and there's so much history with lilacs, and it is such a beautiful time to come, and lilacs are one of my favorite flowers. So I'm so looking forward to that, but just more reason to come back. And so I'm gonna head and do a little bit of shopping and see if we can get some. If you have been to Mackinac Island, be sure to give this video a like and leave a comment down below your favorite time to visit the island and your favorite activity to do on the island. I would love to know so I can add it to my next trip. When we come back in June for the Lilac Festival, I definitely will have to bring you guys to the fort that Franklin and my dad did earlier. Franklin loved it, so I'm sure he would love to go back. So we will check that out in the summer. 11 a.m., but I believe during the peak season, they open at 9:30, but their website will have all of that information if you're planning a visit, but it is really neat to visit. A large majority of Mackinac Island is actually part of the Mackinac Island State Park, so if you love to hike, go biking, this is a destination for you. So I think we're going to go for a little walk, and maybe we'll see some more fall colors. And so we are going to head right up here and see what we can find. I think that we are going to head to Arch Rock, or at least towards that area. That is the plan. and we will see where that takes us. I definitely would like to see the cemetery because I saw some photos online and it looked beautiful with the leaves. So we're gonna check that out and see. But there is nobody. Nobody. It is so peaceful and so quiet, and so we're just gonna go out and explore. We are passing by Fort Mackinac. So you can also enter the fort through this side as well. They have an entrance right here and then tickets right there. So if you are up here, or if you do the carriage tour and you get off, you can get off at the fort and you can enter right here. If you've never done the fort, I definitely recommend doing it at least once because you do learn a lot about the history of Mackinac. If you're familiar with the movie Somewhere in Time with Jane Seymour, they have the gazebo. It was filmed at Mackinac Island at the Grand Hotel and on the island. So you would head down this path and then just go straight down here, and then it's right around the corner. I have done that in the past. I did that on our last trip, so we aren't going to do that today, but it is nice, and Anne's tablet is nice too. We are heading this way this evening. Here is a little indicator of what is nearby. I think we're gonna hike to Arch Rock, which is over here, but we're gonna have to read what the attention sign says first. And then I think we'll come back and I think we will head back that way to see the cemetery. And last time with Franklin we did Fort Holmes, so I won't be doing that because I don't have enough time for that. But we will check out Arch Rock and I will show you that. It is a must do if you've never been here. Even if you've been here many times like I have, still recommend it. So it turns out we cannot go to Arch Rock this way. We can do it from the path that goes along the island. But that's okay. I have seen it, so we're gonna head towards the cemeteries and check that out. And if you are biking around the perimeter of Mackinac Island, you will see signs for Arch Rock while you are riding your bike. And they have little, and they have where you can park your bike. And then you do have to go upstairs to see Arch Rock. But I highly recommend it. It is a must do, but we will not be doing that today, unfortunately. Cave. This is one of the popular spots. You will see this if you do the carriage ride, if you are out walking. I lost track of time and the sun is going to set very soon and I'm not exactly sure which path leads to what. So I'm gonna go on the other side of the cemeteries and hopefully that will lead me back into town because it's gonna get dark really fast and it's kind of eerie being surrounded by all of these cemeteries. So we are gonna head back. I made it back to town and I stopped at the Pink Pony for a fall cocktail before heading back to the Mackinac house for the evening. Sadly, the next morning we had to check out. Honestly, one night is just not enough here on the island, but we checked out what they had for breakfast. We didn't really eat breakfast. We just grabbed coffee because we were going out to breakfast later that morning before we left the island. After we had packed up our luggage, we headed back down Main Street and we walked over to the Pink Pony. The Pink Pony does offer breakfast, so that is where we decided to have breakfast this morning. I don't know if we would go back here for breakfast. I would definitely go back here for lunch or dinner. The breakfast was good, but I would definitely try another breakfast spot on the island. And a trip to Mackinac Island isn't complete without getting some fudge. So we got some fudge before we headed back. And then Franklin also wanted to look for a toy. So we went to a toy store. So he picked out something. And then we just headed back to the Starline Ferry dock before catching the ferry back to Mackinac City. We are leaving Mackinac Island. Did you have fun, Franklin? We left Mackinac Island. We had an amazing trip on the island and I cannot wait to go back. I didn't vlog that much when we were on the island this morning, but we had breakfast at the Pink Pony and then we walked around the shops a little bit, got some fudge, and then we took the ferry to Mackinac City. And so that is going to wrap up this adventure. Thank you so much for coming along with me. It was so much fun. Until the next adventure. Bye.